And we are live. I would like to welcome everyone to the podcast today. Let me do my checks real fast and I'll be with you. I want to tell everyone, I hope everyone had a very good day today. And we're going to have a good podcast. So let me get dialed in. I would like to welcome everyone to the podcast. Oh, that sounds like today. Me, definitely. Let me do my checks real fast and I'll be with you. I just don't see me. I want to tell everyone, I hope everyone had a very good day today. Let me do my checks real fast. Okay, it looks like we're in the house. And we doing very good. And we just need to check one last thing real quick. And then I'll be good to go. We got to be good to go. And let's see. And with that, we are definitely good to go. My name is Lynn David Lissy. I'm your full spectrum Gnostic. And I'm here on the Spirit Realm Network. And as usual, I have a very good show today. What are we talking about? We're talking about man's quest to open the abyss. Okay. Now, when most people hear about this, they think about that abyss below. But we really don't know what the abyss is. So we have a lot to cover. I'm going to go kind of fast. Hopefully I won't run you over. But we have that. We always like to go back to the beginning. And boy, are we going back to the beginning today. We're going back to that Garden of Eden right there. This is where this quest to open this abyss started. Because we was all told, if you read that book, that Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. And that story about people being in the garden is all over the world, not only in the Bible. And how happy they were. And they was just there and it was paradise on earth and they loved it. And they just, it was like a dream come true. They didn't want to leave. They just wanted to be there forever. But one little snafu. God said you can eat from every tree in the garden except one. And that's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And just like with cats, if you tell them you can jump on every table except one, they're spending all their time on that one. And after they was told they couldn't eat from that one tree, they wanted to eat from that tree. Now, why did they want to eat from the tree? Because they were just bad people. They was rebellious. They didn't have nothing better to do. No, because they wanted. Most people don't know this. It's in that book, if you would open it. There's only two things that separate man from God, or the gods. Knowledge and eternal life. They quested. They was tired of just being gardeners. They was tired of just being there like Teletubbies, just running around, having a good time, enjoying their life, and then it was Teletubby bye-bye. They wanted more. And when the serpent, the Nagash, whatever it is, we'll talk about that. We talked about that before. We're not talking about that here. Said to Eve, he asked Eve, is it true you can eat from every tree in the garden? She said, of course, yes, except for one. And he said, what tree is that? The tree of knowledge and good and evil. And what happens if you eat from the tree? If you eat from the tree, you will die. He said, you will not die. Your eyes will be open and you will be as God. This is where the quest started. Because they didn't want to be Teletubbies. They didn't want to be gardeners. They wanted to be as God, with him, equal to him. So they ate of the tree. Now, we're going to go deeper. Why was it called the tree of knowledge and good and evil? Because knowledge is pure knowledge. What you do with the knowledge is up to you. Now, before they ate of the tree, they didn't have to toil, they didn't have to do anything. They just could run around all day and have a good time. But after they ate from the tree, their eyes were was opened. And then they knew they was naked. Then they knew that they was different. Then they discovered hot and cold. They discovered everything. Before that, they didn't discover nothing. They had nothing. They didn't know anything. But they took that chance, and after they ate from that tree, they no longer, like Teletubbies, was provided with everything. After that, they had to toil for their food. And after that, life became difficult. That's the reason people say that we made a mistake. But in some of these books that you shouldn't be reading, like the Demonic Bible, it has a different slant on there, is that the serpent, the Nagash, freed Adam and Eve from their prison because they wasn't content to be in the garden just running around having a good time all day. They wanted to know. They wanted knowledge. And they opened Pandora's box and they took a chance to try to grab knowledge. And when God confronted them, why did you eat of the tree? Adam said, that woman you gave me some and I ate it. Okay, it's called passing the buck. But that still didn't change anything. And from that day on, they started to learn. They learned good things and they learned bad things. Life became difficult from the day they ate of the tree. That's the reason in the book, in the book of Adam and Eve, it talks about the first night, the first day was the day they ate of the tree. Before that, they really didn't have days and nights because they didn't know anything. So they ate of the tree, and most of us would say that they got the raw end of the deal because after that they was thrown out of the garden and they lost a lot of things. They had to toil for their food. They had problems. They had to figure it out. They had to start. But they knew what they wanted. They wanted something called knowledge. So now we fast forward. Why don't we go and fast forward a little bit? And we go to the next thing. After the flood, man decided to go for knowledge again. He decided to build a tower to reach towards the heavens, to try to grasp and to be equal with the gods again. Because the gods have always been one step beyond where we could reach. They were always on the mountaintop, on the clouds, on the thing. And this is why today we're questing to go in outer space. We're looking for them. We're looking for the knowledge. And it says in that book that when God looked down, he said, look what man has done. He is now one of us. Let's go down and confuse this language because that is not what they want. They don't want us to be one with them. But this quest for knowledge is what, I call myself a full spectrum Gnostic. Gnostic is about the quest for knowledge. Because as I said already, the only two things that separate us from man, us from the gods or God or whatever see, we don't even know what they are. Are these angels? Are these spirit creatures? Are these divine beings? Are they okay? See, we don't have words, but the only thing we know is they can do things that we cannot do. And we want to learn how to do that. So again, we tried, and again, we were stricken down. But did we give up? No. This is the thing about man. We never give up. And our quest for knowledge, our quest to be one, continued. Let's fast forward our little slideshow a little bit more. And then where we go up? We go to this guy. Who know who that is? That's King Solomon. The wisest man who have ever lived. The richest man. He had 900 wives. He wanted to know all. He had a flying carpet. We don't know what that is. He had Solomon mines. And they've been looking for the mines of Solomon for a long time. They can't find them because they're in Africa. But that's a different subject for a different day, okay? But Solomon was super wise. And even though he was the wisest man on earth, he wasn't satisfied. He wanted to know all. God gave him a ring. And with that ring, Solomon could control angels and demons. It's what is called the Ring of Solomon. But we see movies. See, everything is secret society. I keep telling you that. In Lord of the Rings, they talk about there was one ring that could control all. It was the Ring of Solomon, not the Ring of Solomon. It was the Ring of Solomon. Because we're too stupid to know that Solomon and Solomon is the same person. Okay. But Solomon wanted all things. He had 900 wives. He worshiped the Jewish God, but he wanted more. This is why he was stricken down with craziness after he made a blessing to the god Baal. He was stricken with insanity. Okay. Because he wanted to know all. And Solomon, as you know, is praised in the Bible. He has a book in the Bible. Solomon has a lot of books you don't know about. See, Solomon knew a lot of things. Solomon not only wrote about the book of Solomon in the Bible, Solomon also wrote the upper key of Solomon and the lower key of Solomon. People that do Wicca know a lot about those books, especially the lower key. The upper key is how you communicate with angels. The lower key is how you communicate with earthbound spirits. And the lower key of Solomon is still the main book that most Wiccans use. The lower key. And Solomon is also the father of Kabbalah. He started it goes all the way back to him. Okay. He wanted to know all. This is the curse of being a Gnostic, those who want to know. See, there's 5 different levels. The levels are you can worship them. You can know them. You can worship them. You can work for them. You can know them. You can have the power of them, and then you can be one with them. This is where all Gnostics want to be. We want to be one. And Solomon was able to sacrifice all. He lost his flying carpet. He lost everything. He lost his 900 wives. He even lost the Ark of the Covenant. It's not mentioned after him. Okay. So he went crazy. Most Gnostics either go crazy or they're recalled. That means they're taken up. So, were we finished then? We still wanted knowledge. Solomon got close, but he was unable to reach the knowledge. He was unable to get past the veil. So, again, we pursue our slideshow up a little bit further. We go to this guy, Nostradamus. Nostradamus is the only Gnostic that was not stricken by craziness, and the only Gnostic that we know that was not called, recalled. What do recalled mean? We skip one person, Enoch. Enoch was the first person. He walked with God. He was the fifth generation from Adam. Enoch knew everything. He communicated and talked with the angels until he did the wrong thing. God told Enoch to go and tell the fallen angels that they was going to be destroyed and he was going to destroy their children. And when Enoch went to tell the fallen angels and their descendants that they was going to all be destroyed, they said that is too hard to bear. Can you mediate for us between us and God? Is there something we can do? And Enoch agreed to mediate for the fallen angels. He agreed. And when he went to God and told him that they want to know what they can do, God said there's nothing they can do. Their sins cannot be forgiven. And go and tell your family your last goodbye, because this time next year you will be no more. And he was taken up in a whirlwind. Okay. See, it's a very dangerous game. Nostradamus wanted to know all. He found a way to do it. Nostradamus he had a big bowl of mercury that he had on a tripod, and he would breathe in the mercury. I don't suggest that one. And he would do some, and he would see visions. Okay, I bet he would see visions. You get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. And he wanted to know. He's the only person we know who prophesied the day he would die. Nostradamus talked about things. He even predicted the end of the world and the date of the end of the world. Nostradamus did everything. Okay. But Nostradamus, as great as he was, he couldn't save his own family from the Black Plague. They all died. And Nostradamus, as great as he was, at the end of his life, at the peak of his popularity, even in his day, he burnt and destroyed all of his books because he said man is not ready. And before he died, he destroyed everything. So we don't really know how Nostradamus was doing the things he was doing. We don't know because he destroyed everything. But Nostradamus had knowledge. He could see the future, the past. He could see everything. There's so much we don't know about him. We don't know who he was working with. But his quest was for knowledge. Now we're going to this guy. Who is this guy? We're still moving forward. This is John Dee. He was the astrologer to Queen Elizabeth I. Right now we have Queen Elizabeth II. He was the astrologer of Queen Elizabeth I. He wanted to know all. He established Enochian magic, which is still used today, which is a way to communicate with angels. And a large section of the British Museum is dedicated to him. Okay. And he wanted to know all. He wanted the knowledge. What happened to him? He went insane. Insanity. This is the problem. But why do we want to open this veil? Why do we want to get to the other side? You might ask yourself, why? It's the same thing about kids. We have kids and we wish they stay small forever. But our kids say, boy, I can't wait until I go to school. I can't wait until I go to high school. I can't wait until I go to college. I can't wait until I get my own job. I can't wait to have my own place. I can't wait to get there. And once you get all of that, you say, being a kid was really nice and sweet. I wish I could go back. But unfortunately, it's a one-way trip. And we think how great it is to move forward. We really don't know what's beyond the veil. We really don't know what's on the other side. But we know there's great power and wisdom. And we want to be as the gods, as to have the power to be one with them. And this quest's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Did it end with John Dee? Of course not. We keep moving and keep going further. Who's next on our list after John Dee? He went insane. Then we go to this guy, Aleister Crowley. He wanted to know all. He wanted to open the gates of hell. He wanted to be one with them. He was born around the turn of the century. You know what he did on his honeymoon? He went all the way to Cairo, Egypt for his honeymoon. And instead of spending precious time with his sweetheart between 12 midnight and 1 a.m., he was trying to conjure up demons in Cairo, Egypt to learn the secret of how to open the gates of hell. Why would anyone want to do that? And why did he go all the way to Cairo, Egypt to do that? Did he know something about Cairo, Egypt? I know what's going on in Cairo, Egypt. Okay, is the only place on the earth where one of the portals, most of the to get to the other side is not on this plane. That is the place where it touches the earth. And I am not going deeper into that subject, but that is why he went there. And he spent his entire life trying to be one with, he called them the demons, to be one with them, to have their knowledge, to have their power. He wanted to be the one. What happened to Aleister Crowley? He went crazy. This is why, see, we cannot handle all. Aleister Crowley had a helper, which he called Kim. He drew a picture of Kim. Kim today we would call a gray alien. Back in 1900, it was just his spirit guide. He grew. This guy with a very big head and a super thin body. That was his helper that was helping him. Okay, remember, UFOs didn't exist until 1947 from what we're told. So we don't know what that thing was. Okay, but he called him Kim. Okay, but that was his companion, his helper in his quest to learn all. But again, like everyone else, he ended up going insane. This is why, with me being a Gnostic, I do not quest to know all, because I will too go crazy. I quest to know almost all, because all I cannot handle. But almost all, maybe I can handle. Or maybe I'll go crazy too. You know, we all got to take our chances. Okay. Did it end with Aleister Crowley? Was he able to open the gates of hell? Was he able to be one with them? The answer is no. He failed. Okay. Let's go further. Let's go more. So, where do we go from here? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. We're tired. No more magic. No more spells. No more towers. No more nothing. We found a new way to play this game. It's called CERN. It's what's going on in Europe on the French-Sweden border. Okay. We found a new Tower of Babel. We found a new way to get to the other side. We're trying to open a mini black hole on the Earth. Okay. They're saying so we can recreate the Big Bang. But why would you want to recreate the Big Bang on the Earth when everything went bang? That doesn't sound too good. They're trying to create a portal. Again, we are trying to reach them. We have a new toy. We have spent billions and billions of dollars. And we think with this toy we can reach the God particle. We think we can create an opening and we can reach God Himself. So we can finally end the quest to be one with them. Okay. But then that's not true. I read that thing, that CERN, that super collider in Europe, that's just there for pure physics experiments only. They're there to see what happens when you make particles and when and when you collide things together. They're not trying to open no black hole in. They just spent tens of billions of dollars just to see what would happen. If you believe that lie, and how we know what they're doing at CERN, Do you think I have a spy satellite? Do you think I have anything? No. I know because all of this stuff is secret society. They don't even try to hide it from us. Okay. So, Lynn, what evidence do you have what they're trying to do? For one, they say themselves that they're trying to create a portal. Okay. We tried to do this with the explosion of the first nuclear bombs. Some people thought that a portal could be open. Okay. In front of CERN, outside the buildings, where they have this machine, where they're trying to do what they're doing, there is a statue. That's the statue which is outside the building. That is the picture I showed you for this podcast. The building of CERN with the statue in the front. And people say, oh, it's a nice statue. They have no idea what that statue means. It's a Hindu statue. Now, why would you make a giant Hindu statue and put it in Europe? Europe, not Hindu. But remember, they think we're stupid. They think we're ignorant. Most of us are. But I'm going to explain that statue to you and why it's outside a building on the French-Sweden border. That right there is dancing Shiva. She's dancing the dance of destruction, the dance of death. Shiva is the one who destroys the world. And she destroys the world and the universe so a new world and new universe can be created. And she's doing the divine dance of destruction. And around her she danced in a circle of fire. The fire is the fire of destruction, but it's also the fire of rebirth. See, they don't even try to hide this stuff from us. They want to bring in a new order. They want to cross over. This is why behind me there's a portal. There's a black hole. But this is not the first time we tried this. This is what the Montauk experiments in New York was about, when they was trying to make a small black hole. And they was trying to make a portal where people could cross through. But that portal was so small, they say that you could barely crawl through it. Okay. And that portal could take you from one place to another place. But you had to be very careful, because if you fell out of the portal, you was lost forever. Okay. And through the portals they was making at Montauk, you could travel vast distances. What kind of portal is that? I never heard of no portal where you could travel vast distances and how you had to stay within it. I never heard of that. Really? You never heard of a Stargate before? They don't even hide this stuff from us. They've been working with this for a very long time. But they're tired of little tiny ones. To make one only big enough that a man can pass through. In World War II, with the Philadelphia experiment, which we're going to talk about another time, they barely made one, but that one was uncontrollable, and a boat went through it. They want to make a big one. Now, we see that in the science fiction movies, where they have jump gates. Okay. Or stargates. We don't have one that big yet where we can pass, starships can go through. One day we might have jump gates and stargates in outer space. We don't have that technology yet. Now they just want to open one bigger than just one, big enough for a man to pass through. They want to open a portal. The reason it's called to the abyss is because a portal is a two-way connection. We want to open so we can cross. But a portal, a tunnel, is a two-way connection. Not only can we pass through, also things from the other side can pass through. This is what the movie The Mist was about around 10 years ago. You need to go and see that movie where they opened up a black hole and these dinosaur creatures came through and was killing everybody. Okay. This is what the movie Pacific Rim is about, where a portal was open in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean and these giant monsters was coming out. See, the problem is you can go all the way back to Babylon 5 in third space where they made this, where they discovered this portal, and through this portal they could cross to other galaxies, but there was some people in another galaxy trying to cross into our galaxy to conquer our galaxy. This is the problem. You're playing with Pandora's box. When we open this black hole so we can send a plane through there or whatever we want to send through, who's saying something won't come out the other end? And what are we going to do if some creature, entity, whatever, comes through that? Are we going to call Homeland Security and get it deported back to the other side and say, "I'm sorry, you're illegal. You're not allowed to be here. We're deporting you back to your dimension or your galaxy where you came from"? Okay, I don't think that's going to work. But the reason why we need this device is because, see, ancient people believed that the gods was hiding on the mountaintops, then on the clouds, and they was hiding on the Zoe, which is the planets. They was always one step below where we could get. Today we believe God is hiding in a black hole on the edge of space. Today we need the furthest and most strongest telescope because we're trying to find them. And when we find something 250,000 light years away, we need a way to get over there. We don't want to take 250,000 light years to get there. We need a portal to get there. But the reason why I started with the Garden of Eden, because everything in this world, there's nothing new. Everything is a circle. There's nothing new. The reason why we go all the way back to the Garden of Eden, which put us right back to where we are today, is because, remember, the Watchers came down. I'm going to tell you about something you don't know. There is a dimensional divide between, we're back at the garden where we should be. Excellent. There is a dimensional divide, which is between the physical reality and spiritual reality. You can cross it, but we're made of gross matter. They're made of subtle matter. So if spirit creatures cross over into our realm, they can do it. But they can't touch anything in our world because they're made of subtle matter. If they try to touch a table or anything, their hands will go through it. That's the reason spirit creatures try to possess you or get you to do them favors, because they can't do anything in our world. If we went to their world, we couldn't do anything either, because everything in their world is made of subtle matter and we're gross matter. We would be non physical in their world. In our dimension, they're non physical. That's the reason why they use portals. If a spirit creature wants to cross into our realm and be able to touch and feel things in our realm, they need an opening in space to cross over. If we want to cross over to their space and be able to interact with them, we need a portal or a doorway to cross over. You see what I'm getting at? So, we're working on this thing to open a black hole. We're spending hundreds and billions of dollars to do this. Are we doing this for us because we're thinking what we're going to get out of this? Or just like in the Garden of Eden, are we being tricked and lied to and being deceived? And when we think we open up this passage, see, Eve thought when she ate of the tree, she would be as God. See, the devil is not a liar, he's a deceiver. We think when we open up this portal in CERN and we're able to cross over, we will be one with them. But maybe we're not. But just like we was tricked back then, I believe we're being tricked today. Because we're opening up the portal not so we can cross through. We're opening up the portal so they can cross into our world. Because they cannot do it themselves. Because remember, they are non physical in our existence. They need us to do their dirty work. And when we open up this portal, this black hole to their dimension, they will cross into our dimension. I think we have enough problems already. Are we going to call the Ghostbusters when they end up in our world? And what is then? But what is going to cross? The problem is we don't know until it's too late. We have no way of knowing what is on the other side. That's the reason it's called Pandora's box. You don't know until it's too late. Now, it would be great if we was doing this like on some of these movies where we was doing this experiment to open up a black hole and we did it on an asteroid, and if things got out of control we hit the big red button and the asteroid would blow up like in Star Wars or something. But we're doing this on the planet Earth. There is no red button. I guess we could nuke France and Switzerland. This is very, very super scary stuff. This is why I wanted to talk about this. Because the Bible says in the end, the abyss will be opened. Okay. And There are people, maybe I shouldn't talk about this. There's a creature called Cthulhu who is asleep in the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean. He's bound with magic spells. He's asleep because the sky is poisonous to him. Okay. But when the stars align, but he cannot wake on his own. He needs assistance. There are people who will call him and do the magic spells to break his chains so he can rise. In the Bible, that is known as the thing that come out of the open with out of the ocean with 7 heads and 10 horns. We call it Cthulhu. You could call it the Kraken. You can call it whatever name you want. The only thing I say, when that thing come out, it's going to be a very bad day. Okay. See, all this stuff requires assistance from us. Cthulhu cannot awaken by himself. We need to say we can do the certain prayers and rituals to break the chains. Isn't that amazing? And just like with this thing they're doing over there, we're messing around with things and we're going to end up like Adam and Eve. They got deceived. She thought how wonderful things would be if she ate from the tree. And yes, she did receive knowledge. But that if she had a choice, I bet she would go back and decide to date, maybe I better pass eating that tree. And this is the problem we have in life. We make mistakes and it's hard to recover. So before we do what we're doing over there, and I always say, if you don't believe what I'm saying, Google it yourself. CERN is our Tower of Babel. We believe that finally we have found a way to reach them, to be one with them. Or maybe they finally found stupid enough people to open the door for them. Let's see what my comments are. I never have a lot of comments because I talk about stuff that is so deep and so mind-blowing. Most people don't even, they just, I don't know what to say. Somebody said they have no understanding of Aleister Crowley. He wrote the Book of the Law. The Book of the Law is the book that controls the dark side. See, in the light, we have the 10 Commandments. Aleister Crowley wrote the Book of the Law, which is the law that controls the dark side. Their law is, see, we have 10. They only have one. Do whatever thou will. Okay, that's the law. Oh my gosh. But you have to do it with love. Okay. See, on that side, there is no, see, you can do whatever you want. Okay. That's how the dark side always works. And we have went from the Tower of Babel. Now we have an electronic Tower of Babel, and we're doing the exact same thing. This is why you think If we can't even handle a little tiny coronavirus bug, what are we going to do when something crawls out of that hole? What in the hell we're going to do? And ask yourself, if you had the choice to cross into the hole, would you cross over? What would you do? Okay. But all of this is in No Secret Society films. Okay. This is what they showed in the movie per Prometheus. When they thought, when they found the people who created us, they would be so happy to see us. And they woke up that creature and said, "You created us. We came to be with you." And he started to try killing everybody. And he was trying to find out where the earth was located so he could destroy it. Because sometimes your creation is not what you intended. A lot of times you get that letter in the mail and you created things. Now you got child support. Okay. It's not what you intended. So we have gone complete circle. And the Bible said in the end, it will be as it was before the flood. Everything is coming back. Everything. This is going to be a roller coaster ride. Okay. But in the superhero movies, when all these weird spaceships and things appear, we're able to defeat them. Now we get to do it in reality. Ooh. We get to send up our F-14s and 15s and our F-35, and we get to shoot down the alien craft from, 100 light years away. That's they're 10,000 years more advanced than we are, and we just shoot them down, right? Okay. I wouldn't try that if I was you. Okay. So we need timeout. Okay. There is no way. Now, most people think the veil is the abyss downstairs. We really don't know what the abyss is. A lot of people but now believe the abyss is outer space. There's so much we don't know. Up until a few years ago, we believed the Earth was the only planet in existence. Now we know about thousands of planets circling hundreds of stars. It's not that those planets didn't exist before. We just didn't have the technology. And now we have found, whereas now, first we were only finding giant planets. Now we're finding Earth-sized planets. Now we're talking about maybe in the future we can go and visit them. Okay. And someone was talking about that today when I was preparing for this, about a doctrine that we have that goes back to the conquistadors' days, that as explorers, if you're an explorer, if you come across something, you have the right to claim it as your property. Okay. And as your property, you can do with it as you please. Do that mean if we come across an alien civilization, it will be our property to do whatever we please? Can we enslave them? Can we convert them? The Catholic Church already said with that if there's alien life, they have the right to convert it to Catholicism. The Catholic Church already said that. What happened if they don't want to convert? I guess we just have another Inquisition in space, right? We just kill them all if they won't convert, right? Okay. We really need to stop and think about what we're doing before we leave this little blue marble of ours. Because we could easily go out there and piss somebody off. And the earth could be like in Star Wars, that planet that get blown up. Okay. We need to really slow down. Okay. Because very soon, we're going to have the technology. And to tell you a little secret, the military is already in outer space already. Okay. So, who knows what they're doing? Okay. So, I don't have any answers. I just think we're playing with fire, and I think we're going to get burned. But this lecture today was to just tell you of some things that you don't know about. Okay. But the quest have not changed in thousands of years. The quest have always been the quest to be one with them, to be one with the gods or the angels or the demons or the aliens or whatever you want to classify them as. We want to be one with them, as it is in Star Trek. We're one. Okay. Think about what I said. The future of mankind may depend on what happens over the next few years. Okay. And we have made some big mistakes over the years by letting fire ants into this country from Brazil. We got Africanized bees that we accidentally let in. We had a lot of things in we accidentally let in that we don't know how to get rid of. What we're going to do when we let something from another dimension cross over into our dimension. I guess we just called, with the exterminators to go and get it. I wish I had some answers. Look at this yourself, research it yourself. You will be surprised what I'm saying. And I am a Gnostic. I do wish one day to be one with them. But I'm just a baby. Okay. And I don't want to go crazy. Okay. I'm doing the best I can. I want you to do the best you can. I want you to have a very nice evening. I want you to think about what I said. And remember, we must make the world a better place for all of mankind. And we have to survive our technology that we have today. Because we have the technology to make the world a better place, or we have the technology to destroy all life on this planet. The choice is ours to make. With that, I'm Lynn Livesey, your full spectrum Gnostic. I'm out of here. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Bye.